Kobe Bryant put in so much work. He worked on his game incessantly. Everybody who talks about him says he was a killer. I never hear anybody say that about LeBron James. No one. All I ever hear them say is that he's great at working out. That's all I ever hear people say. LeBron's always in the gym. Never in the gym playing basketball. Took him 40 years old to have a consistent shot for 37%. LeBron James did not destroy Kobe Bryant, although he tries to so hard. Hasn't surpassed him. Hasn't captured that elusive fifth ring. And we know that if he does, it will be a manufactured title, just like the rest of them. But why can't LeBron James win more titles, I think, is really the question that we need to be asking. And it's the main reason is because of how he plays basketball. When you're playing the best team basketball, those teams typically win championships. There is a formula to winning titles: defense, rebounding, playing both sides of the court. That's just some, one of the basic things that might get you there, right? And hopefully help you win if you remain consistent in those things. But LeBron James, I don't think he really knows how to play organized basketball. I'm going to be very, very honest with you guys. I think that because he never went to college, that's why he has such a timid game. That's why he's always so scared. That's why he has never been really able to step up to the plate in a meaningful way for his teams. He's got to pretend. He fakes it till he makes it. He fakes his way into these titles because, again, somebody else has got to do it. Going back to high school, somebody else has had to hit those winning shots. It wasn't him. It was the guy who was like under 5 feet tall, Drew, hitting shot after shot after shot so that they could win those high school titles. LeBron James never went to college. I think that really hurt. I think that when he came to the NBA, he was virtually uncoachable. That's why so many coaches have been fired. That's why Darvin Ham in particular was fired. He knew the right way to play basketball. He was asking LeBron to play defense. He was asking LeBron to play less minutes so that he can get younger, fresh legs on the court. He didn't want to do that. Do you think LeBron James could play in an actual system? Anything that exists other than high pick and roll or bum rushing the lane? It's just not who LeBron James is. And honestly, because of LeBron James, I think it's eliminated players' ability to play in an intricate offense like the triangle. And it's made me wonder, can modern NBA players thrive in the triangle offense? I'm going to say no, but I want you guys to hear what Brian Shaw had to say. I think that he spoke very eloquently about the triangle, and a lot of people could stand to learn from this soliloquy, because what they're doing today is not good basketball, and it's very much so lacking in fundamentals and IQ that's really needed to, in my opinion, be considered the GOAT. And so everybody talks about LeBron James's IQ, but I don't see it at all. And Brian Shaw and Byron Scott, to me, some of what they said is a very clear indictment on today's NBA. So let's have a listen.
Brian, I'm going to take you back to your Laker days. You mentioned it earlier with, bringing in Ron Harper to try to educate people on the triangle offense. A lot has been said about the triangle offense. Tex Winter's triangle offense. Let's just be real about it. Tex Winter's triangle offense. how difficult is it to do the triangle offense as a player and a coach?
I think it's more difficult as a coach because there's only been a small set. It's been a small set of coaches that have actually coached it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the coaches that broke off from Phil Jackson that tried it. It was only, I think Jim Clemens tried it when he went to Dallas. Maybe Bill Cartwright a little bit when he was in Phoenix, and Kurt Rambis for a second when he was in Minnesota.
Yep.
But the problem was that Phil had all the coaches that coached in the triangle on his staff.
Mm-hmm.
So when those other coaches broke off, they hired coaches that had no experience. So you can't teach your coaches and the players the triangle.
Yeah.
Right. And so as a player, I don't think it's that difficult. I think that every offense has actions that involve the triangle. I mean, when you were in New Orleans, I remember same side.
Yeah.
I was like,
we were in Princeton.
Right. In Princeton and then triangle cousins, basically, right? A lot of the same things. And so people ask me all the time now, if you, ironically enough, when I was going on head coaching interviews, all the GMs and stuff were saying, don't come in here talking that triangle shit. We're not running the triangle here, and this, that, and the other. But I would sit down and show them, like, when we look at film of their teams playing, I would be like, well, that's a triangle action and this is a triangle action, and so I love it because I think it puts people in place to do whatever their strengths are, and you can tweak it to kind of make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
And, they say it wouldn't survive in this day and age.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because of the 3-point line and how prolific it is now, the triangle the beauty of it to me is that it's a zone offense, that it's an overload, right? But you can run it against man-to-man, you can run it against zone.
Don't matter.
The same side out of bounds plays, you don't have to do anything different. And if a team presses you, you just move the triangle up to the level of the pressure. And so in the 2001 finals, where we went 15-1, we got in such a groove, we didn't ever have to call anything, right? Because it's based on actions that, like, and it's hard to scout. And I say that because if we call 53, which is basically just UCLA to a side pick and roll, and you take away the entry pass to the wing, all these other automatics kick in, right? So now, even though we call 53 and it's supposed to be UCLA to a side pick and roll, they took away the entry pass. Now we lag it to the other side. It turns into something. Now it turns into center opposite.
Yeah.
So a scout can sit up there and say, oh, they called 53 at 7 minutes and 20 seconds of the first quarter, but we actually really ran center opposite. Now they whole scouting report is fucked up but they don't know
from the strong side to the weak side now. I mean, and they have no idea what the hell's going on.
And that's what I love about it. You know what I mean? And so in today's, one of the most boring things for me is everything is pick and roll. Everything is pick and roll. So that involves the two dudes that are in the pick and roll, and then everybody else is standing around. So
B-Shaw, I think you know this as well as I do. When you're running that type of action, when you're running the triangle, or you're running what we call the Princeton offense back in the day, if you got players who have a high basketball IQ, like you said, you ain't got to call shit, because the defense dictates what you're going to run.
That's right.
And so if you got players who are smart, man, they figure that shit out in a heartbeat. And again, like you said, if you're going to pressure us, we would just go farther back out, because now we're going to open up the court that much more.
You got more room to back cut
exactly.
people.
So now you got set up to backdoor cuts and everything else.
Yeah.
So it made it so much more difficult for teams to guard you, because like you said, you can call one action. We would, like you said, we would say same side. Okay, so you take away that pass to the corner.
Right.
We just swing it back up top. We got a 2-man game over here with a double pin down on the weak side. And it's reads. It's all it is reads. Yeah. And I think one of the reasons that they say it won't work today, players aren't smart enough.
They say that, or you need two great players like Shaq and Kobe, or like Scottie and Michael. But when Michael retired, the Bulls still won 55 games that next year, running the triangle without having two stars. And so, and I argue that when Shaq and Kobe, especially Kobe, who just especially early on, just chased the ball where he broke it all the time. So the second unit, which was, Robert, myself, Rick Fox, Fish, we actually executed the triangle better, right? Because we didn't have, when we came in, we might have one of those guys in, Shaq or Kobe, with the rest of us, but we had to execute and actually run it. And I was older, Harp was older, John Sally was older, but it was the same thing. You throw it in, dude turns his head, you cut by him, you letting the offense and the actions dictate what you're gonna do out there on the floor. And you can't plan for that.
You can't plan for that. I think that today's players, they can't survive the triangle. They don't know how to play in it. They're not smart enough. And Byron Scott called it out. And this podcast, what I love so much about Fast Break is that they flat out call out today's players for their lack of IQ. It's not there. And I'm little old me is not just hating when I say that. How much IQ is there in putting your head down and bum rushing the lane? Where's the IQ in that? Can you make that make sense? Where's the IQ in that? I'm just trying to figure it out. That's all. Where's the IQ in bum rushing the lane, pick and rolls, the same thing all the time? Same play. No defense. What kind of IQ needs to be used if nobody's playing any defense? I'm just curious. What kind of IQ do we even need to use if nobody's playing defense in the first place? I would love to know what you guys think. Can modern NBA players survive in today's offense? And we have some super chats over here that I'm gonna take a moment to read for you guys. Wise Guy 23, salute to you for the $2 super chat. He never broke. That alone is cringe. I mean, we know he broke all the way down. LeBron James has broken so many times. Before the 2011 meltdown, in 2007, when he went to the finals, he played like shit, guys. Let's be for real. And nobody said anything because he was a young player going to the finals. But his performance was not good. And they lost that finals because he had so many holes in his game. His teammates did their job. And everybody wants to sit there and talk so poorly about them. But they did their job. It was Boobie Johnson who stepped up. Fast forward to 2009, 2010. Broken. Kevin Garnett will tell you that the Celtics broke LeBron James in 2010. He had to be sedated. Sounds pretty broken to me. Panic attacks, clearly. LeBron has been psyched out for years. Woofio, salute to you for the $5 super chat. Any LeBron highlights in 23 years, not one of them on a Hall of Famer. Of course not. Woofio, another $2. LeBron don't even know how to play street ball. Oh my gosh, he'd be embarrassed. Woofio, another $5 super chat. Salute to you. LeBron got 0 records on any court in the world. Jordan got records on ops teams' home court. Big facts. Woofio, another $2. LeBron thinks IQ means I quit. Oh, snap. That was a good one. That was a really, really good one. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable when we talk about players' IQ today. And I'm not going to say that there's no NBA players that could make it in the triangle. I think SGA would be great in a triangle offense. I think DeMar DeRozan would be great in a triangle offense. Would he be greatest of all time? No, but I think that he could play in it. I think that there are very many skilled players that could play in a triangle. Kawhi Leonard, I think that he would be amazing in a triangle offense. Kevin Durant, who knows what he'd be able to unlock in the triangle. But what I love about the triangle is how you can manipulate it in any scenario. And so people say it wouldn't work today, and it would work. It's just that people don't know how to use it. They're not smart enough, and they don't have the IQ, and they don't have the I think flexibility in learning. Coaches don't want to learn it. They don't have to. They can just send their guys out there to shoot threes all day and collect the paycheck. No problem, right? But Brian Shaw, he says a lot more great things, I think. And he even talks about what he thinks is causing the decline in the NBA. And he talks about what he thinks is different between today's NBA and prior generations. And I thought what he said was really fair. I thought that, and again, when I give criticism, I think of three things. I think, one, does it need to be said? Two, does it need to be said by me? And three, does it need to be said that way? And so what I love about Brian Shaw is that I felt like he nailed these things.